For more on this issue, we have with us Professor Shin Sang-hyup from Kyunghee University. It's good to have you back on the show.
My pleasure.
So let's start by looking at that deal Prime Minister May presented to the European leaders. So the EU have signed off on it, and it's an important milestone that's been reached for this Brexit process. What do you make of the agreement, the deal that was presented to the EU leaders?
Well, I want to explain the situation inside the UK. Well, about the Brexit, I think there are three groups of the people. They have different opinions about Brexit plan. The first group, those are the people who have for the Brexit. That means they wanted to see the UK leave the EU immediately after May 29, 2019. The second group of people, they are for so-called the soft Brexit. Soft Brexit means actually this is the idea, supported by the Prime Minister May. The main idea is this, to maintain the status of the customs union, which is the very same status to the member of the European Union. They want to keep the economic benefits, or in other words, they want to minimize negative economic impact caused by the Brexit on the UK economy. They want to enjoy the tariff, the free trade for the manufacturing products and agriculture and food products, even though it does not include service industries. And at the same time, by doing so, they want to minimize negative economic effects caused by the Brexit on the UK economy. But this is the basic contents of the people who supported for soft Brexit. And the third group of people is they insist that they should review the Brexit from the very beginning, including the reconduction of the national referendum asking the Brexit one more time. So the opinions of about the Brexit plan inside the UK have been divided into three main groups. This is the situation facing the May government. So I think the deal, agreed by the European Union, the leaders and the UK, basically, this is the soft Brexit. Maybe for the May, this can be the best deal. And to some degree, this can be the best deal for the European Union, but not everyone in the UK, I think.
So yes, when you say not everyone in the UK, a lot of MPs have already voiced their displeasure at this deal. There's going to be a House of Commons vote in about 2 weeks' time, and it looks like in all likelihood it will be voted down. Then what happens then? What happens if it really does get stopped there? Well,
November 13th, the 27 leaders of the European Union member countries signed on the Brexit agreement. So the remaining procedure is that for the European Union, they should get the approval of the European Parliament, and then for the UK government, they should get the approval of the House of Commons in the UK. But I think that it will be very difficult for the May to get the yes sign from the House of the Commons, because as I already explained, the many people, within the Conservative Party, ruling party, many people are against the soft Brexit. And on the top of this one, the opposition party, Labour Party, they have very clearly announced that they are against the soft Brexit. And then the third group, which I already explained, who wanted to discuss the Brexit plan from the very beginning without whether they will cast a yes for the Brexit agreement signed by the European Union and the UK government. So the possibility to pass this agreement at the House of Commons in the UK, I think is very small. Then if it happens, what happens? So-called no deal will happen. No deal means that without any agreement between the European Union and the UK government, UK should leave the European Union. Then it will be, maybe big disaster for the UK economy. Why? if no deal, I mean, after the Brexit was agreed, I mean, by the European Union and the UK government, well, in fact, the investment into the UK has been reduced dramatically. What I mean is that many multinational corporations are hesitating to make investment in the UK, and then even they started to reduce their investment or reduce their business activities in the UK. Let me give you an example. Goldman Sachs, which is one of the largest global finance company, they reduced the number of the workers based in London by half. And then the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, they moved about 1,000 workers in London to France. And this is a good example why how much concerns the many foreign businessmen or foreign investors are concerned about the UK future. And another one actually. After the Brexit was announced, decided, and then after the 27 EU leaders signed on the Brexit the agreement, then many people really concerned about the financial market stability in the UK. And London has been one of the main global financial centers in the world, but right now, after maybe the Brexit agreement signed by the European Union and the UK, many people is really doubt about worry about the London status as the global financial center. If the financial stability is broken down in the London, I think it can directly or indirectly affect the UK's economy. Well, because the financial the market stability will be directly affect the trade. So certainly, all the situation happening right now regarding the Brexit can be interpreted as one of the negative factors on the not only on the UK economy but also the global economy as well.
I was going to say, so could that have knock-on effects to everywhere around the world, including here in South Korea?
Right.
I mean, what can we expect to happen if the worst case or the best case happens?
Yes, I mean, first of all, we have to think about current global situations. Trade war between the UK, the USA and China. Well, this is certainly one of the most serious negative factors on the Korean economy because they are the number one and number two trade partners for the Korean economy. And then Korean economic structure is heavily reliant on foreign trade. About 80% out of total GDP, 80% comes from trade. So the trade war is going on between two big economic giants. It is certainly one of the most serious economic negative factors. And on the top of this one, the USA government has increased the interest rate. So there's possibility that withdrawal of the foreign investment in the Korean market or from the developing countries market. It can be another factor which could result in the financial market crisis, particularly in the developing countries. Secondly, thirdly, under such a kind of circumstances, the Brexit, as I already explained before, it can directly affect the stability of the financial market in London. And London is a symbol of, center of the global financial market. If London's financial market is shaken, it can directly affect the stability of the global financial market. It can affect the Korean currency value against the USA dollar. And then the depreciation or appreciation of the Korean currency against the USA dollar can directly affect the Korean trade. So it means that depending on the situation happening in London caused by the Brexit, it can be the very serious economic negative effects on the Korean trade and Korean economy as a whole.
Before we move on, let's go on to US President Donald Trump's remarks. He was asked about what he thought about the EU deal that was presented by Theresa May as well. He described it as a great deal for the EU, implying that it was not such a great deal for the UK. I mean, he also said that with the current deal, the UK might not be able to trade with the US. And of course, Theresa May has rebuked this since. But is there a reason you think that Trump might have made this kind of remark?
Well, I think Trump is is the person who has used many so-called business-like strategies in the negotiation with China and in the negotiation, trade negotiation with other countries. I think well, at the moment, considering the fact that, as long as UK remains, as a member of the EU, or during the transitional period, which can be extended up to 2021, end of 2021, UK should respect the trade law, European Union's trade law. That means there will be no big changes in the trade guidelines and trade terms and conditions of the trade of the UK when they have a trade with the USA. Then why then Mr. Trump said that way? That means if UK leave the European Union, then they will have the bilateral trade negotiation with USA and many countries around the world. So I think Mr. Trump is trying to take some initiatives, so to speak, in the future trade negotiation with the UK, I think. So at the moment, I think it's kind of the play of the wars, not the real warnings or no. No, I don't think so.
So you think Theresa May should kind of just ignore this for now and
yes,
just move on?
Well, after Mr. Trump gave such a kind of some statement, Prime Minister May immediately rebuked. She said that no, the leaving, Brexit means that UK can have the bilateral trade negotiation with the USA. So it can be, according to her, it can be some another opportunity for the USA and for the UK to start the very desirable and favorable trade relations between two countries.
Before we go, while we have you here, let's just get your opinions on this upcoming G20 summit. Trump and Xi Jinping are set to meet there as well, and they're supposed to have talks about the trade dispute that the whole world is concerned about. What do you think they will talk about, and what kind of outcomes do you think we can expect?
Well, many mass media reported that the President Trump and then President Xi Jinping will have a talk for the trade, the war between two countries. And then they know very well that their economies have huge damages because of trade war between two countries. So they have enough reasons why they have talked about the trade war between two countries. And the next question is then they can make some progress at the talks for the to solve the trade war between two countries. I think yes, to some degree. Because as I already explained before, both countries, particularly China, has the huge damages on their economy because of the trade war with the United States. Well, the USA has some damages as well because of trade war with China. So at the summit meeting, two leaders will agree on the big pictures, which can be a kind of some temporary solution for trade war between two countries. They will agree that, okay, the more details for the promotion of trade relations between two countries will be carried on and will be discussed further at the working level, the officials in the future. So temporarily they can suspend the trade war between two countries, and then temporarily, I think. So I think at the summit meeting during G20 summit, I think this can be a highest the achievement which we can expect from the summit meeting between Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi Jinping.
Well, we'll have to keep a close eye on over the weekend. And that's all we have time for. Thank you for coming in, and always great to get your insights.
My pleasure.